All right, part two. My name is John Michael. All right, so the ethical violation. So what's going on here is that birth control pills do not actually prevent ovulation. The ovulation is successful. The conception happens, right? There's a baby. There's a baby. And the baby is 100% alive, and the baby is very, very precious and valuable. But the problem is that these birth control pills do not actually prevent the pregnancy. They just actually kill the baby in day 6, 7, or 8, or 9 at the implantation stage. So that's a very terrible thing. All right. So a failure to provide full disclosure, right? So that's the problem, right? There's failure to provide full disclosure in that the potential for the drug to prevent the embryo's implantation was not disclosed to the woman. Right, so they're thriving on the ignorance of the woman to sell these abortifacient birth control pills, right? And this ethical violation breaches the principle of informed consent, right? So that is a illegal wrong. Um, and the failure represents a violation of both medical ethics and the Hippocratic Oath. So it's very, very clear. There's no pessary or whatever. So the IUD is a pessary. You can argue what you want, but the whole point of it is to not. The Hippocratic Oath is do no harm, don't kill babies, basically. And what is this family doctor? Family doctor? I don't believe it. I do not believe that. That's the most perverse use of the word family that I've ever heard, ever. All right. Institutional response. Okay, so the institutional response was quite eye-opening, right? So the complaint with the College of Physicians and Surgeons in Nova Scotia, the complaint was summarily dismissed with no substantial investigation or accountability for the defendant's action. There was not even an investigation, and this dismissal is viewed as unjust and symptomatic of a broader issue within the medical community concerning the transparency and responsibility in cases involving reproductive health. So basically, what is the problem? Is that medical science does not agree. No, sorry. The law doesn't agree with medical science, right? So the politicians have basically, gotten in the way of logic and reason, right? So it's very, very logical and reasonable to conclude that the baby is alive, and then this birth control pill causes the death of that fully intact and viable pregnancy, right? So implantation is not the starting of a pregnancy. It's nonsense, right? Anybody that would suggest that is just either has a financial stake in the matter, or they're just delusional. Right? There's no point in even arguing that because it's just wrong. But it has been argued, and these people stick by it. Right? I don't believe they believe that. I don't think they believe that. But so the purpose of this whole thing, right? To obtain a declaratory relief for personal redress, but to formally confront a contradiction within Canadian law. Is that important? Yeah, right? The denial of legal personhood to a biologically distinct and living human being, right? So this is the fact that you are denying my son his personhood, right? While current legal doctrine may render this claim unsuccessful, the proceeding serves to preserve a moral and biological truth within the public record. The plaintiff asserts that René Julien, which was my son, though unborn, was a genetically complete living human child. It certainly was. Irreversibly lost due to a medical act masked as routine care. So there's not care. This is not a medical, therapy at all. Right? This is just these doctors of death are issuing these types of drugs contrary to the Hippocratic Oath. What are they? Are they doctors? No, they're industry representatives. That's all they are. They're not doctors, medical doctors at all. Absolutely not. If you choose to sit there and deny medical science, what kind of doctor are you? It's a recognition of the laws, basically. That's all we're really talking about. And is there any kind of point to actually filing this kind of thing? Well, it'll be on record. Why? I can make a record right here on YouTube. Right? I don't plan to waste my time with the Canadian courts because they've proven themselves that it would be it's proven that it would be folly to even walk in that place. Right? It's when the law and medical science do not agree because of the some politicians in the past took a bribe, right, and it allowed, right. There's no society, right. The society is completely lost, right. That's why I'm not in my country anymore. So expository evidence, right? Expository evidence, and it revolves around the prescription of the birth control pills and the me as the father. Okay, so that was one of the points. Basically, the only point that they were saying is, oh, you as a father, you cannot complain. You cannot complain because you're the father. You didn't have this therapy. Well, first of all, it's not a therapy. There's no medical type of medical problem that will cause it'd be having a need to be. I'm sorry, I'm just getting distracted by these noisy neighbors here. But all right, let's continue. Um, So the consequence of deception, the consequence of deception. So the direct consequence of the deception was the termination of the pregnancy. I'm confused. Is the natural fertility of the woman, is that the problem? Is that the medical problem that is in need of the of correction, or is it my son? Right? Is it actually my son that is the problem? Right? So I tend to believe that they're suggesting that my son was a medical problem that needed to be corrected and killed. Right? This is dark and twisted stuff, man. So the actions of my own family caused the death of so many children in that geographical area, in the community, in the society, and this is the reason that I'm speaking out, because I'm so ashamed of my family's conduct. And if you agree or don't agree, it doesn't matter, because the facts of the case are so strong in my favor that there's no disagreeing, right? There is no doubt at all. There's zero doubt that the baby is a baby at the conception. There, when the sperm will meet the egg, there's a new set of DNA here. There's a very special magical moment where the baby is conceived. I was a baby before. I'm a baby, so many years ago. And this baby surely was a baby, right? So it doesn't really matter if you agree or don't. The only thing that matters is that um, are you living in deception? Are you living with the fact that you just believe that the birth control pill prevents ovulation? Because it certainly doesn't. I mean, the FDA's own publication admits that, right? And the doctors will just lie to you and thrive on your ignorance to get you to pay money for this birth control pills to kill your own children. So that's tangible issue here, right? And I on behalf of my whole family, I'm so ashamed, and I apologize on behalf of my own family, right? They might not be honorable, or they might pretend to have a cloak of this honor, right? But this type of honor that I'm a family physician and I've been working at for 35 years or whatever. Yeah, well, so. It's a failure to make an informed decision, right? So the woman does not have the information because, I don't know, she didn't research on her own on Google or YouTube or Yahoo or Facebook or Instagram or whatever kind of thing. But the information is out there. But she trusted her medical doctor, which is, is it unreasonable to trust your medical doctor? Sure, right now it is. Yeah, it seems to be, and it resulted in a death, right? It did result in a death. Yeah. So the plaintiff filed a formal complaint. I filed a formal complaint, and it was dismissed, right? The only reason why it was dismissed was because they claimed that, oh, I'm not the father or whatever. See, the problem right now is the legal framework that we are working in the Canadian court system, right? So we would need we need a court system that will agree with medical science, right? A court system that will agree with medical science, right? So informed consent, and medical ethics, the legal framework surrounding reproductive rights, medical ethics, and informed consent presents a significant challenge to this case. And I'm not disagreeing with that. That's absolutely true. There's a challenge if you want to try to file this in the Canadian Supreme Court, for example. Why? Because they're either willfully ignorant or blindly trusting the politicians, right? I'm sorry, this is really there's some noisy neighbor problems here that just won't quit. It's really bothering me here. Yeah, and these I don't know if you can hear it on the video here. Sorry, I got some dogs and everything too. And I should be able to sit here in my own house without having to be blasted, by my neighbors. I really should. Oh man, this is annoying me. Sorry about that. Oh man, This is so annoying. Hey.